Sorry, my video cut off there. So I did go ahead and I think I was showing you where the edge wasn't exactly even. So I pull it over to where the offset edge is there. Make sure my bottom's down straight, and then I trimmed that off and evened it off. So I'm backtracking a little bit here. So this is the final size of the card. Again, I just want to know kind of where my pieces are going to kind of be. And this is kind of the harder part. Normally what I would do is with my camera, I would take a picture after I have everything placed where I want it. So I kind of know, oh, yeah, this needs to go there, there, and there. Because, like, see, you don't want to do this. And you glue down, you know, from the bottom up. So you have to remove pieces, okay? So I want to make sure that I can see this saying. The other saying, there was another saying that I pulled that I thought was kind of nice, was this one, which says, the world is, it's very tiny writing though. The world is changed because you are made of ivory and gold. The curves of your lips rewrite history. But when I put it up to it, it just seemed like it was going to be too much blue and take away. So again, it's about contrast, right? You don't want too much of one thing that it's going to, you know, not complement, right? You want to have some contrast. So I thought it was better going with this saying, which was more of the brown, bringing it in a little bit between the other colors. Now I want to be careful where I place this because I want to make sure too that I can get them in. And I can always trim off that little bit. It's not going to matter too much, right? But I also want it over so I don't see that edge. Okay? So I'm going to kind of take note. I can, if I bring this down a little bit, the flowers up there don't matter. I can get them wherever I want. I think I'm going to bring this over, tuck it behind here, and have a little bit more of this showing here. Still can see the flower. I might bring it down a little bit. Again, I just want to make sure my saying is in there. And that's going to have to butt up against the edge there. Okay? So that's going to be my most important piece to make sure it's in place. And I can always tilt this a little bit. And then, of course, this can be pulled down, no problem, to where that's going to be. Okay? I could even bring it over more, like that. All right? But you have to glue from the bottom down, so I really don't want to mark on my thing. So what I'm going to do is take this off. I'm going to kind of leave this because I know this has to be here, but these flowers need to be tucked behind it. And sorry, there is a really pretty gold essence on here. I know the camera, sometimes the camera makes it look all different colors. Like it's what do you call it? Holographic or whatever. I'm sorry. I'm really bad sometimes with my terms. But it really is just gold. So what I'm going to do, oops, trying to block that reflection there. And I'm going to use my pokey tool. And I'm telling you, these are great for getting these stickers off of that little bit of plastic. So again, I know that's going to be placed there. So I'm going to put this on here, move that down, get that there. Where is my bone folder? Oh, here it is. I'm going to push that down. I'm sorry this video is run a little long, but I always get into little tips and tricks too. They're all things that you learn in error as you go along, and I just think it's really, really helpful if I can give you those tips to to save you some pain in your process. Okay, so that's going to be about there. A little bit of this, her sleeve will still show. So I think I'm good with that there. If I put this just for kicks and giggles underneath there, it'll still show something right. Okay, so this is about where I want this. So I'm kind of looking, okay, it's by the green leaf. It's just a little bit under there, a little bit there. Okay, I have an idea of where it's going to go. This again, I believe, is a sticker. I hope it's a sticker. Trying to get it started here. And some of them are not the easiest to start, but these pokey tools really help. And of course it's gonna, because I'm recording, this one's gonna give me some grief. Sometimes I have to just switch over to another corner. Yep, it's definitely a sticky. I can tell by the different color in the back. Sometimes if you try to fold it a little bit, play with the corner a little bit, mess it up without ripping or tearing it, yeah, see, it's separated a little bit for me. And now I can peel it off. Okay. Now if I remember where I was going to put this, I want to make sure it's flush with the edge here because I don't have a lot of room for play. If I remember, it was a little bit higher up. I'm just slightly pulling it over. So again, I want to get it right on the edge. So I don't have a lot of room for play there. Okay, I'm going to go with that. So I can always move him up and down a little bit. And I can always turn him a little sideways. Okay, so this one, I'm going to tuck it under beside, right about there. And I'm leaving some room there. So it's kind of in line with the T. Okay, this is paper, so, and it's a little bit thicker, so I'm not going to use my glue stick. I'm going to use my art glitter glue, which again, it's great, has a great bond. I just don't like using it on thinner paper. Also, if you're using washi tape, I think most of you know that is not a permanent adhesive. So if you're using washi tape to decorate on your page, I always run it over my glue stick. You can use a liquid glue on it if you want, but I just run it over and I hold it down with my finger and pull it across and then put it down so it is more of a permanent sticker. Okay, this I already inked around it very lightly in the black, just, you know, to give it a little bit of definition, but not really a strong didn't want to really ink it really strongly, just enough to kind of separate it a little bit more from the paper so it doesn't blend in too much, which again, with the colors in this, some of this paper, but when it's against the other beige, like certain sections of this is. Okay, now again, this is thinner paper, so anyway, let me do this first because I want to be precise with it. I want to get it over there it's over my blue, which is good, and it's not going to cut off her sleeve. Okay. Because I'm using the liquid glue, it gives me a little bit, not much, especially with the art glitter glue, because like I said, it dries very fast. But it would give me a little bit of time to move it if I wanted to. With the glue stick, I actually, as you saw in the previous card, I have to actually pull it off completely, reshift it. Glue that it had gotten on the page is going to be on the page. I'm going to be a little careful there because I got a little too close to his hair. Okay. And I think that's all I'm going to do with this card. I don't really think it needs much more. It's got enough. I am excuse me, put that glue on there. I am going to I have to trim that edge of her sleeve off, and like that. I would re-ink it, but I'm going to ink around the whole card anyway. I don't, because of the softness of the image, I am going to use a half round on this card, corner rounder, and I'm going to ink all the way around it and about around the back side. And again, like I said here, a little bit of the white showing, but when I ink it, you won't even notice it. So, I mean, if it's a big gap, you're going to want to trim it, but for that little bit, not a big deal. Then I'm going to go with black only because there's black in here. But if you want a softer look at it, you can certainly use your vintage photo. Just want to make sure I got the right one here with my... And again, I'm not going to put a lot of distressing on it. Just enough to give it a little bit of softness. So I'm not going to go in too deep with it. But I do want to make sure that I'm getting... See how that white edge just went away? Okay. And then I just have one more thing that I want to mention when it comes to journal cards. If they're just going in a pocket or a tuck, then they're fine and they're good to go. But if you, and I'm going to show you an example. When you're doing your layout and you're thinking about where you're going to put this card in a particular spot in a journal, if you already have your pockets built and whatnot. Sorry, I keep using that word whatnot. There's sometimes you want to put a tab. Let me get rid of my paper sticker backings there. Okay. And you might want to put a pull tab on your journal card. An example of that, if you're not familiar or you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to show you real quick on another. Okay, so this is a journal. Sorry, it's probably not fitting all in frame. It's a pretty big journal. Okay,